Some signs scream, others whisper. And those are the dangerous ones. The subtle red flags we overlook, excuse, or rationalize until the damage is done. They don't show up like monsters. They show up like discomfort, silence, a gut feeling. Today we're talking about the subtle red flags in people, patterns, and even ourselves that we often ignore until it's too late. 1. When they dismiss your boundaries as drama. It's not a joke. It's not you overreacting. It's someone who doesn't want to respect your emotional space. People who respect you don't make you feel guilty for having limits. It starts small. You're too sensitive. You're making things up. Suddenly, you're the problem for simply having standards. Red flag. If they make you explain or apologize every time you express your discomfort, they're not listening, they're managing you. 2. When peace feels unfamiliar. This one's deep. Sometimes the red flag isn't a person, it's your own wiring. You grew up around chaos, manipulation, emotional highs and lows. So now peace feels boring, calm feels suspicious. You mistake stability for detachment. You run toward fire because it's what you know. Red flag. If drama feels more like love than consistency does, there's healing to do. 3. When they joke. But it's always at your expense. Laughter is not an excuse for subtle disrespect. Watch for just joking remarks that embarrass you in front of others. Sarcasm that feels more like a slap. Backhanded compliments masked as wit. Because consistent jokes at your expense aren't jokes, they're tests to see how much disrespect you'll laugh off. If someone consistently makes you the punchline, they don't value you. They're performing dominance disguised as humor. 4. When you're always explaining what they really meant. You keep telling your friends, they're just going through a lot. They didn't mean it like that. They're not usually like this. You become their PR team, their translator, their damage control. Meanwhile, your needs, your peace, your voice, all on the back burner. Red flag. If you're constantly rewriting their behavior so it sounds better, you're not in a relationship, you're in denial. 5. When you're always anxious, but can't pinpoint. Why sometimes the most dangerous red flags are the ones we feel, not see. You feel tense. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. You feel like you need to earn every ounce of love you receive. But they haven't done anything blatantly wrong, right? That's exactly the trap. Emotional manipulation often wears the mask of kindness, but your nervous system always knows the truth before your mind catches up. Red flag. If your body feels unsafe, even when your brain says it's okay, listen to your body. 6. When silence becomes the loudest pattern. They stop communicating. They avoid hard conversations. They ghost your feelings. Not always you, but your needs. They'll never yell, never hit, but they'll go silent when it matters most. This silence is not peace, it's control. Withholding communication is still communication. It says, your pain doesn't move me. Red flag. If they weaponize silence to maintain power, you're not in a relationship. You're in a negotiation with someone who's already decided they don't have to meet you halfway. 7. When you keep hoping they'll change into who they were at the beginning. Let's be honest, they were never that person. What you fell in love with was the version they knew they needed to be until they had you. Now you're holding on to potential, not reality. Hope can be holy, but hope without evidence? That's fantasy, and fantasy will cost you real years of your life. Red flag. If you're more in love with who they could be than who they consistently are, it's time to let go. Red flags aren't always red. Sometimes they're beige. Sometimes they're polite. Sometimes they look like your comfort zone, but ignoring them never makes them disappear. It just gives them time to turn into heartbreak. So next time your gut speaks, even if it whispers, listen, because the soul always knows, and wisdom is honoring what it knows before it bleeds. What's a red flag you once ignored? that you now wish you had seen clearly from the start? Or maybe, what's a red flag you're wrestling with right now? Let's talk in the comments. Your story could be someone else's wake-up call.